And in the part two, you shared an interesting story. I'm really inspired because I was really into that, and I was imagining that you are in the kitchen and you're doing all the stuff, and you're even having conversation and getting the guidance from your mother. I really appreciate the way you were sharing the story. Answer the question and then go for explanation. You started with the explanation, and after that, you gave me the answer. For that, I would give you 8 band, and that is something you can score quite easily, inshallah. Hey, Malik Umar, how are you? I'm doing great. That's great. So tell me something about yourself, about your education, and about your work. Oh, well, as far as my education is concerned, I have done my MBA from University of Sunderland, England. Great. Yeah, a specialization in business management. Yes, and as far as my professional is concerned, I'm doing my own business, which is food and beverages. It's been like 5 years since I'm doing my own business. And how is it going here? It's fabulous because we have got a lots of demand of my business over here. As I have told you, my business is food and beverages. So people are really these days keen into the food stuff and beverages. That's great. I really wish you best of luck for that. Thank you. May you see more and more success here. But you're going abroad. Yes, I am. Yeah. Okay. Now, my part one questions are going to be about the social media. And my first question is, which social media website do you use? Personally, I am into Facebook and Instagram. All right. Yes. The reason why I'm into Facebook because the users and the you can say the followers in the Facebook is very much higher than the Instagram. But the traffic and you can say we can say the market segmentation. You can say the best one is segmentation is the best in Instagram. So by both combination, I'm using both of them, Facebook and Instagram. All right, great. How much time do you spend on social media sites, and why or why not? In one day, if I can calculate, because a couple of days ago I was just checking my the report of the usage of the social media. So it's like 3 to 4 hours in a day. All right. What kind of information about yourself have you put on social media? Why or why not? Most of the time I just put the reels, short videos, pictures, and the family get together. So it's because it's a social media. So I just want to involve a bit of a piece of you can see the information, but not everything I'm putting on that. So it's just about a little bit, some kind of fun and a little bit get together, family get together, parties, birthday parties, and yeah, a couple of my personal own pictures. All right. Is there anything you don't like about social media? Well, yes, there must be some restriction on that because although it's a social media and you have a right to speak anything on the social media, but there must be something like balance opinion over there on the social media. You should not say anything or you should not show anything on the social media. All right. Well, Malik Umar, this is the end of the part one. Now we are going to move toward the part two. I'm giving you this question. Here comes the question for you. And you have 1 minute to prepare. Take this paper. If you want to make some notes, you can make that. So you have 1 minute to prepare. And after that, I expect that you will be speaking for 2 minutes. All right. And your 1 minute is going to start. Let me just... Okay, your 1 minute starts now. Okay. All right. Your 1 minute is over. Now I'm setting up the stopwatch for 2 minutes. Is it possible if you can just simply read out the question before we start these 2 minutes? Yes. Describe a dish that you know how to make. You should how to make. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Could you please also read out those sub questions? Yes. If it is difficult to prepare,
how much time it takes to be prepared, what are the ingredients, and explain how it is prepared.
All right, great. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Well, I would like to say that chicken korma is one of my favorite dishes and one of the best dishes that I can cook. Because it's a very interesting story I would like to share with you. Because once I was a student in England and I was without my family, and nobody was here to help me and to cook a food for me. So I was like to call my mom back at my hometown to just ask about the how we can prepare the dish of korma because I like the korma. And that's how I learned how to cook the korma. So as far as the time is concerned, it's not really takes longer than traditional dishes. It only takes 30 minutes to cook. So it was. I mean, if I would like to tell you about my experience. Initially, it was once when I cooked first time, it was not really good. But it was the edible, but it was not very good because the salts and chilies and it was like a mixture of everything. But with the gradually with the passage of time, I was like cooking after a week, and I came to know that how many salts, the measurement of the salts we need to put on the 1 kg chicken, and how many spices I have to put on the 1 kg chicken, and then how many times we have to give the steam, the cook of the chicken. So that's how I came to know that. And I was at the end of the day, I was a very best cook of the only korma. So yeah, and I would like to tell you about the procedure of how it is cooked. We have to for
Continue.
yeah. So as far as the procedure is concerned, first of all we have to brown the onions, and then slightly we put the tomatoes on that, and then a little bit at your taste about the taste salts and spices you have to put on the curry, and then you have to do some put some water in that, and then gradually put some chicken, and you just cover the the pan with the lid, and then just straight away it's ready to eat.
All right, that's great. I'm starving right now, and I feel like I want to taste that. Okay, moving on to it, the part three discussion topic is the creating a nice home. And my first question is, why do some people buy lots of things for their home?
Well, it totally depends upon the need. If the person have a lots of need, for example, if they want their guests to be sitting in some drawing room and they have a different sofas for that, different tables, and then separate dining room. And obviously, if they want some dining room, they have to buy the dining table for the guest. So I believe that it's totally dependent on the needs, the requirements of the person.
So what if we do not talk about the needs of basic essential which are required to have in a room? What about the decoration? People are spending a lot of money to make the home look really outclass and all.
Yes, definitely. It's a part of the home, I believe that. And it also depends on the taste of the person. As far as my taste is concerned, I would like a simple stuff in my home. I don't want some kind of florid decorations all the time. And this a beautiful picture in my room and a simple lamp on the side of the table. And that's it, a couple of frame of the pictures. But I don't want a fancy stuff all the time. Some floor walls and wallpapers, different kind of cupboards. So it totally depends upon the taste of the person who is living in the house, actually.
So that is the level of sophistication that you're sharing with me, but still there are two extremes. There's one side where people are spending a lot of money and they're so concerned about the decoration, and there is another side where people do not care about their home at all, and the home is messy and everything. What's your opinion?
Yes, that's another part of the story, because if you're like messy all the time, if your room is messy, house is messy, that's a different stuff. But I'm talking about the simplicity. The beauty lies in the simplicity. So I believe that we should not spend too much money on the decoration. We should be moderate all the time.
That's it. All right, that's the end of the speaking mock test. And now there are a few suggestions that I would like to share with you. And when we were doing the part one conversation, the part one speaking, I would suggest you first answer the question and then go for explanation. You started with the explanation and after that you gave me the answer. Give me the answer, give answer to the examiner, then go for explanation. Answer should be your priority. And even in one question, you started with an explanation and it was difficult for me to understand that where exactly have you given the answer, because it was just the explanation and answer. A straightaway answer was not there. I'm going to share the recording of this speaking test with you, and I would like you to pay more attention to focus on the part one speaking. And in the part two, you shared an interesting story. I'm really inspired because I was really into that. And I was imagining that you are in the kitchen and you're doing all the stuff and you're even having conversation and getting the guidance from your mother. I really appreciate the way you were sharing the story. But one thing is there, you answered the first question and then you jumped towards the story, what happened with you. My suggestion would be just focus more on the questions which are being asked in the cue card, so that not a single question would left unattended. You have to answer all the questions. First, try to answer all the questions, then you just come up with a story, because of course you have to speak for 2 minutes or even more than that. So first, try to answer the questions and then take as much time as you want to explain story or with the explanation or anything. And in the part three, my last question was about people who do not care about their home. I was showing you that extreme side, and you said that is another, but spending money on the house is good. My question was something different, and your answer was different than that. So focus on the question what is being asked and try to answer that only. Anyhow, you're speaking the pronunciation, the accent also, accent is not the part of the IELTS exam. Still, the vocabulary that you have used and the way you have engaged your examiner, I believe that is really appreciable. And for that, I would give you 8 band. And that is something you can score quite easily, inshallah. Inshallah. Well, that's the end of the test. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time.